All right. So, the beginner gym is relatively, simplistic. Doesn't have anything too, important to make note of, but just some like basic, thoughts. It's very important, especially if you're watching this, you probably have played base game Celeste, but you do have a fair bit of leniency. Oh wait, one sec. I will put on my input display. There we go. You do have a fair bit of leniency when it comes to dream blocks. Oops, that's embarrassing. So specifically here, you can press jump really early, or you can even press it late, because you get something called coyote frames after effect. Cloud jumps, man, there's nothing really to talk about there. Though apparently a lot of folks when playing base Celeste don't really understand how clouds work. So clouds, basically the longer you're on them, the higher you go. So you can do a quick jump. You can do like a quick double jump off of a cloud to lower your height, or you can do like just hold it. You know, you get variable height off clouds. This is useful in some levels. You can do various tricks off of clouds. I don't remember. So here, for instance, you see right there, you can just jump off of them in order to cancel it. Same thing here. Yeah. Theo basics. So to be honest, I've never done this. The first gym tutorial. Like most useful stuff to talk about with Theo will be later on. So we'll just zoom through this real quick. I think they want you to throw this here. Okay, alright. Hopefully the camera can see everything. Okay, so now that we've finished the beginner gym, let's get to the gyms that actually have stuff to talk about here. Oops, did not mean to go in there. Alright, what do we want to start with? Wall bounce, first thing you learn. Okay, so wall bounces have some interesting stuff to talk about. One thing that is commonly mistaken when it comes to wall bounces by people that are just coming off of base Celeste is like, basically you can jump off of your wall bounce at any point when interacting with the wall, and when you interact is when the wall bounce occurs. So basically, if I jump at the bottom, I will go of this wall, I will go lower than if I jump off the top. So the momentum I would keep, and that's only because I'm starting the wall bounce at the point of when I press jump on the wall. So the longer you hold it, the later you start the wall bounce. This is pretty important if you're ever like struggling to get height on things. Oftentimes you need to like hold your wall bounce. Oh, well, I mean, this tells it to you, but oh yeah, you can obviously cancel it. A lot of other specific wall bounce tech is oh yeah, you can do like bubbles act as dashes effectively. So anything you can do with a dash, you can do with a bubble. Okay, so there's more to talk about with wall bounces, but it's not very important. Or I should say later gyms will actually like talk about them specifically, so I will just save it. Okay, anyway, so this, you can just spam the button to early fire bubbles. This is some levels will require it. You can do it with any bubble. Some levels require it, and also sometimes just a good habit to get into. Alright, hypers. So here we're getting to one of the core tricks. So hypers, a couple things to make note of here when it comes to hypers. This looks like a bunny hop. So, depending, so there's two types of hypers. You have basically the basic, that is this right, that right there with what I just did is a basic hyper. You don't get your dash back, it's just, you just dash down diagonal into the ground and press jump. Simple as, it's not very complicated. However, most tricks in this game have what is called an extension. Now, an extension, basically means you get your dash back. Now, how you get your dash back is you spend enough time on the ground, basically, for all intents and purposes. So, it's not entirely how it works, but that is the easiest way to understand it. So, for example, if we look at this, I can delay my dash. Oops, delay 2 months for the example. I can delay my dash, and then I have my dash back. Or, sorry, delay my jump, and then I get my dash back. Whereas, so you can see it by the hair, but that's pretty important, so that's the extension there. Then you can also do wave dashes. The big tell for wave dashes is that is when you need to do a hyper off of a small platform. Again, bubbles you can do all these same tricks on. One thing to note with bubbles is, in my opinion, you don't have to fast bubble, but if you fast bubble, it basically is the exact same trick you've been doing. So if you're ever thinking, or if you ever need to do any of these tricks out of a bubble, the trick is you just fast bubble and you get to do the exact same input you've been doing, and there's nothing weird about it. So there's something to note there. Supers. So supers give you they give you less momentum than a hyper, because a hyper is like a low, long arc. Supers don't go as far as hypers. Oops. This is strangely like super, actually. Supers don't go as far as hypers and give you less momentum. However, they give you some additional height, and you can do, your primary use is going to be doing an extension. So, you know, like this is when you'd really do a super, because you need to preserve your like dash more. That is when you do a super. Supers are really helpful. There, for example, out of red bubbles, but relatively straightforward. Jelly regrab. This is just basic jelly tricks. You probably even interact with this in Farewell, which most people that are playing Strawberry Jam have already played. One thing to note is that I forgot when I played this is that you can hold up to slow your descent, and you can hold down to go faster when you're holding an object. Actually, this is a great room to talk about, so why don't we talk about it? Okay, so right here we see just a basic, oh hey, throw the jelly, dash up to re-grab it, right? And then you go up because the jelly cancels the dash momentum. Later on in this mod, you will encounter difficulties if you don't understand how it works. So very similar to wall bounces, where you grab impacts how high you go, because that's when you're canceling your dash upward momentum. So if I look there, I almost reached the ceiling. I almost reached the ceiling there. However, if let's just say I'm hold grab the entire time, you can see I really don't get as high. The reason for that is because I'm canceling my dash lower. However, if I do that and I press grab at the last possible second at the top of the jellyfish, I actually go higher. So this works for all holdable objects. So it's really primarily used in jellyfish because you really preserve the moment. Oop. There we go. Oh, yeah, it's it. yeah, everyone in chat. Hope y'all are doing well. There we go. Okay. Neutral drop. Oh, okay. This is just dropping a crystal. Okay. Alright. This one is fairly self-explanatory. Even give you a nice lineup for that one. Okay. Yeah. Oh, wow. And they give you crystals, so you don't even need to be precise about it. Okay. That's the intermediate gym. All of this is pretty much just some recaps off of base Celeste 100%. Let's get into the real interesting stuff. Neutral jumps. Alright, so the neutral jumps are some of the most important and useful things you could possibly learn about Celeste. So the idea behind a neutral jump is you just don't press on the D-pad and jump. It's that simple. So what the idea behind it is that... Oh, too far left, I think there. The idea behind it is that when you aren't pressing the D-pad and you jump away from a wall, you get a fixed distance from the wall. You go a fixed distance, which is less than if you're pressing direction. So, for example, let's say I press the left here. You see, I actually went further off of the wall, even though I'm holding left. So if you press any direction, you actually go farther. Now, these neutral jumps are used in a lot of places, very commonly for stuff like this, which is a infinite wall jumps, basically. So you can climb an infinite surface. Oops, I just look in chat. You can climb an infinite surface with neutrals. It's just a very basic rhythm, okay? You do a neutral, so you let go, and then you just press back right. But the most important thing is that you time it correctly. So this is mostly something you just need to try and get a feeling for. This gym is a great place to do it. It's an incredibly useful skill to have, but it's not something that I'm just gonna say, you know, oh yeah, just go and do this. I mean, maybe you will, but more accurately, this is very much a like learned skill of doing it a lot. You just gotta do it a lot. So you can see it's just a very steady rhythm. The idea you want to so theoretically, in order to do it as best as possible, you press right immediately after pressing jump. If you're like just learning neutrals, you can neutral climb very slowly if you just press right the moment you're let's say in this instance leftward momentum finishes. So the moment they hit this line is when I can press right, and it's a slow climb, but it is totally a climb. However, as long as you press jump before you press a direction, and then you let go of that direction once you re-hit the wall, you're going to be doing fine. And this is what I was talking about with neutrals. Give you a set distance. Certain levels later on will require you to do a lot of neutrals to get the idea. Mid-air super. Okay, so supers can work like wave dashes and everything. You can do them. Oh, you have to delay this one. There we go. Yeah, see it. The timing can be rather particular, but the main thing to like take away from this is you get your dash back. All of these count as extensions on a very small surface, so it can be really useful. When you're thinking about supers, hypers, wave dashes, and soon to be bunny hops, most important thing is you should just look at your obstacle. So like I could totally do a wave dash off of this, but you see I don't get enough height, and that is the basic determination that you need to do when you are like thinking about, oh yeah, should I do a super? When you're trying to read a level, just look at the obstacle in front of you and think, okay, do I need height? Then it's a super. Do I need distance? Then it's a hyper or wave dash. And then, well, I guess we'll talk about it. And if you need distance, but you also need a little bit of height, then, and you see this setup where there's like a hole in between two platforms, this is when you know to do a bunny hop. Now, bunny hops, my technique for bunny hops is fairly straightforward. I just press down right, then I press dash and jump, but I just slide my hand and like that. So I just slide and then press, and that just leaves my finger open in order to press jump on the end. So that's my technique for it. If you're doing a wave dash, you just do 2 quick. I slightly change it up because the timing is different to 2 quick jump presses. When I'm in this setup, I just do that. It works very similar to an ultra in that instance. So yeah, so bunny hops are pretty useful, and this is the sort of setup that you are looking for when it comes to doing bunny hops. Okay, momentum. You can preserve momentum off of this. So that one actually requires you to slide along the ground a bit so you get momentum. Launch boost. Okay. Alright, so launch boost. Anything that knocks you away, such as a bumper or a fish, if you are holding the direction that it will knock you away into, you go further. So the easy way to do this is you dash and then immediately press the opposite direction of your dash. You see, I just do a quick like left right there. That's the easy way to get your boost. If you have to fall and do it, it can be a bit more finicky. But you'll find oftentimes that you will just accidentally do it a lot. Okay. Theo regrabs come in 2 forms, well, a bunch of forms, but if you need to go through a small gap, you throw dash horizontally right in this instance, and then dash diagonally back to catch the Theo. So that's like the basic, and then the other option is the throw. You throw, and then you dash. So in either case, what you're doing is you're basically doing a diagonal dash and a horizontal dash. And that's like the basic gist, is you just do diagonal and horizontal. And like many things, many things in modded Celeste. Oops. See, I did the order wrong there. It's very much just around identifying when to do it. So when you're playing through the gyms, I do pay close attention to what setups they present you, because these gyms are very much built around like the most common setups in the game. All right, jelly evaders. So this involves doing a jelly drop. So you just jump and then release while holding down. You can't be neutraling, because if you neutral, you kill the jelly. It's terrible. So again, this is mostly a rhythm thing, but this is also, jelly evaders also be a big moment when you are thinking about like the height differential you get for grabbing the jellyfish later. Oops. It's kind of a fun section. So just something to keep in mind, that height differential, like just holding grab early or not. Again, if you ever need to do a jelly evader, and you're struggling, oh yeah, might have forgotten how to do this. Oh, there it is. So just, you do your initial jump, crouch jump, and then you press grab. Yeah, that's the trick. Oops. Because if you ever do a regular non-climb jump, then you die. Okay. One sec. Wait a sec. Can you? Can't see the controller. You can't? You can see the important part, which is D-pad. But, you know, hey. Now you can? Okay. Honestly, even I don't really remember how to do this. This tech is honestly wildly not useful. This tech is wildly unuseful. You won't see it very much. Yeah. I see. Oh, okay. But, you know, it's occasionally useful to know. I think you need to press right there at the after the last one. There we go. Alright. Reverse tech. Okay. To be honest, Dawn, that was not any time you'd need to see the camera. So, reverse tech. This stuff is... So anything you can do reverse. So, wave dashes, hypers, supers, bunny hops. Well, bunny hops are just because you're doing the wave dash hyper in reverse, but that's besides the point. So basically you just dash the other way and then press. So the way it works, it's actually fairly lenient. You just dash in the opposite direction and then press the direction you want to go. Again, if you're facing it with a fast bubble, I highly recommend, faced with a bubble, I highly recommend doing a fast release, like pressing dash, because that way you're using your muscle memory. Otherwise, you have to do some weird timing. You can reverse supers, of course. The timing on this is very similar to what I was talking about before with launch boost, where you just dash like that, you know? You just dash left and then immediately press right. You just do a quick slide. Oops, that's the wrong direction. So, you know, I realize I'm making all this look easy. You know, but again, it's just do the trick exactly as you normally do, but then after you press dash, you then press the opposite direction. So it's not really a specific timing or like fancy timing or anything. How can you tell when you mid-air super? All right, well, so generally things are relatively self-explanatory. So let's look at this, for example, right? Especially right now, we have nothing that tells that there's no demo hypers or anything, right? So we look at the setup, and the setup of the trick puts us in a horizontal line. But we know we need to reverse because we need to go far and we need our dash back. So we know we need to reverse. So that's kind of how I'm reading it, is I'm looking at this, like, first one, for instance, and, like, it's putting me in a horizontal line with this bubble. It has to be a super, right? This has to be a, like, just look at the line you're being put in, and if you're being put in a horizontal line, then you have good odds that it's a super. Especially in this instance, we're just going from, like, air trick to air trick. You know, that's super. This is a hyper because you're being put in a diagonal line. Now, the last one you could do as a super. It would be way harder to do that, but you could. But then you look and you see, oh wait, I need distance. Well, then we know if we need distance, then it has to be a hyper, right? Okay, so that's the advanced gem. There's The advanced gym is a really important gym. If you get a gym down, this would be like the best gym to get down, in my opinion, because it has a number of really important but also really fun stuff. Neutral jumps in particular are probably the most important thing in the world for just increasing fun. Neutral jumps are fun. Just about doing the repetitions and getting the rhythm down. Thank you so much for the 17 months. Alright, so let's go to expert. This is when things might actually get fairly challenging. Don't get me wrong, first time
Neutral
you're through,
jumps are neutral.
if you're learning reverses and whatnot, or bunny hops, you're gonna struggle to get the timing down, you know. I highly recommend my technique of, like, just, if you want to hop in the minimum distance, just do the slide. That's my recommendation, because otherwise you have to do a very quick double tap. Which you can, but I think that makes it a lot harder to do the minimum distance. You know, like, just do that quick slide. The slide is really important, which you're gonna see here. So ultras are a very notorious trick because they're really hard to learn, and once you learn them, they're really not that bad. My technique, just dash. So I do the slide, oops. I do the slide, so I press dash, then I do the slide over A and B. There you go, so. That's my general technique for it. Oops. Unless I need to delay it for any purpose, like that one requires delaying. So that, you can do ultras off of anything that gives you a lot of momentum. Oops. Oh, I remember what they want you to do there. You can do them off of reverses, and if you're doing ultra off a reverse, you see I still do the slide that I was doing. Like, I'm still doing my slide technique. I do it on everything. Birds, they're a timing thing, but they're kind of dicks. They give you weird timings. When you play maps, that red dash line isn't there. That's a good point. I guess I didn't really talk about it. Oh yeah, when you're doing an ultra, slide along. If you press jump immediately, the signs tell you, and you should totally read the signs because I'm not repeating them verbatim. But the sign, see there, I lost all momentum because I was below the red dash line. So the if you are, ultras generally require some amount of height above the platform you're ultraing to. So you have to, in this instance, to maintain your ultra momentum, you have to delay it. But in this instance, you don't have to delay it. You can just slide along and it's fine. Anyway, so reverse, down right, dash, then I do my slide. Simple as that. And we go here, do this, do the launch boost. Oops, I keep canceling. So fish and birds, you have to wait for there we go. Here it's all of this stuff. This stuff is very commonly found, and once you get the timing down, it's really not that bad. Anything that gives you momentum, you can theoretically do an ultra on just by doing the downright multi-boost. So multi-boost, actually don't remember. Is this a bunny hop? Probably. Yeah, it is. So basically, if you do a bunny hop when you're on a moving platform, you get a lot of free momentum. Because you're basically maintaining the moment. Oop. Oh, I see. I didn't realize that green block was there. You're maintaining the momentum off of, or I should say you're repeatedly gaining the momentum, which is what they call a multi-boost. Here's an ultra. So here you just grab and then you're here. So hold grab here, and then you just press jump and then immediately dash. The important thing with ultras that really gets a lot of people when they just learned them is you really just need to be fast. Just do. This is why the slide technique is something I love so much, because it basically gets the speed for you. None of this, like, I'm not. Oh, actually, well, I did it, but it's that the slide technique makes it. Actually, I probably just slid there. Very consistent. And this, I don't have to do a whole lot of like rapidly pressing A and D. Just do a quick slide, and it works like a charm. So that was just ultra. Basically this gym is just saying, oh hey, you get a lot of momentum. Oh, I see. So this is a bunny hop ultra. Oops. So we just do the usual bunny hop technique, and then we just do the slide at the end. So, you know, we walk on, we do my initial slide, and then I slide back, basically. It's basically 2 slides. I do my initial bunny hop slide, and then instead of just pressing jump a second time, I do a slide back. So you really like look at the controller, you will realize I basically just slide constantly on a lot of these tricks. Oops. There we go. Theovaders are very similar to Jellyvaders. You have a bit more weight with Theo, so it can be a bit rough, but not too bad. Not too bad. Again, as long as you maintain the like 3-point rule of like, oh hey, if I grab Theo at the bottom, don't go as high as if I grab Theo at later on, like at the top. Then as long as you maintain that, a lot of height concerns with these tricks tends to go away. Okay. Dream Hyper / Dream Super. Alright. So I know how to do both. I highly recommend coding adding a demo hyper button. Demo hyper button gives you a couple more frames. I think it's easier, and it's good to have a demo hyper button because no one wants to, or sorry, demo button because no one wants to do manual demos. It's just for this mod, it is just crouch dash. That's the button you're looking for. I keep X and Y here as my demo buttons. Not that it really matters. So in order to do it, if you're using a demo button, it's very simple. You just, right as you are leaving, you press dash and then jump. And you'll notice I do the slide. I do the same slide I do for everything. If you want to do it regularly, the only difference between using the demo button, the demo is a crouch dash, which means that I just need to hold right. So that the demo allows me to just hold right and gives me a few extra frames. Whereas if I'm not doing a demo, I have to actually hold down and right in order to do this. But I still do my exact same slide technique. So just see, you just slide your fingers over and the timing kind of works itself out. You can do reverses. The main thing there is you just need to, when you're doing a reverse, you don't need to stress too much. You can, over the direction, you don't hold right when you're in a dream block. The dream block will already exit you, so you really just need to hold the direction you want to go do the reverse in. So it's really not that bad. Just something you need to practice the timing on. My advice is like right as you're leaving. The intuition behind it is that you can do a dream hyper. You cannot dash when you are in a dream block, right? You can't dash when you are in a dream block. So in order to do a dream hyper, you have to do it in the coyote frames as you are leaving a dream block. And so you have to dash and jump in those frames, which again, it's a fast trick. That's why I That's why I like it. So Dream Supers work the exact same way, except instead of using your demo button, you're just going to do the slide with your, while holding not, or well, pressing the regular dash. Again, if you're stubbornly against the demo, you just need to, oops. Honestly, I'm not the best with the diagonal ones without the demo, but it's fine. You just need to make sure you hold down at while you're leaving. And remember, you can, with the one thing to note is that you can, always prep your directional inputs, like your D-pad, while you are traveling through the dream block. So if you look here, I'm pressing down while I'm traveling through the dream block. I don't need to like wait to exit to press down. Because of this, it's really just a timing thing. Alright. It's really just a timing thing, because I can just pre-plan the directional dash. Dream High vs. Supers are really fun. Everyone likes them. Corner jumps. Oh, okay. So this will most often be accompanied by a setup. Like you see this. If you see that, this is a very common setup. So be on the lookout for it when you are playing levels. Anything precise. So this just hops straight up. This is a neutral into it. So the way to do this here is you just neutral and then do a climb jump the moment you land. I see. Oops. Okay, you can't make it. I was curious. But yeah, so just a straight up climb jump. I like to hold up for this, so it's really not necessary. Okay. The neutral version is honestly pretty lenient. Oh, I see. You just need to, mainly because neutrals are very consistent in their distance. Tried to show off. There we go. Alright, so this is this. Oh, and you can do climb jumps from corners. So you can do climb jumps from corners just like you can do all this stuff from corners, which is why that trick works. Corner boosts. Corner boosts. Okay, so corner boosts are interesting. Again, when you're doing them with a bubble, my advice is to quick bubble because it's easier. So the easy way to do corner boosts is you hold your grab button and then you just press jump. Hold grab, press jump while you're holding the direction. That is the easy way to do it. If you, I don't like trying to time my grab button. When I know I need to do a corner boost, I like to just hold grab and it works. So hold grab and then you just quick press jump when you are there. Oops. Corner boost can be, this sort of corner boost is honestly kind of tricky. The main thing to note is that you have to get the top of the corner. So if you're wondering, wait, why is this failing? It's because I'm undercutting my wave dash. So I was oh yeah, it's gonna spawn. I was undercutting my wave dash there, which means that, which is why I was failing to actually get any height. Yeah, see it. Now it's a bit low there. So, yeah. It's a bit of a timing thing. You'll see these in a couple levels. That one was undercut. Oops. Alright, one sec. There we go. Again, fast bubbles makes life easier. I failed. Honestly, I will say though, this corner boost gym is probably harder corner boost setups than are in the vast majority of levels. So if you think, oh man, too low. If you think, wow, this gym is so hard, I got good news for you. This really is not going to be. These are some of the harder corner boosts outside of GM. Mainly because they just give you good setups, and you don't have to do them repeatedly. There we go. Jelly climbing. So this one isn't really all that necessary to learn, unless you want to be a completionist. So jelly climbing is very similar to neutrals in that you're just building up a rhythm. So you hold grab, jump, let go. So personally, I hold grab. I do grab and jump as like a rhythm together. Instead of so I let go of both at the same time. And then by doing that, what I'm doing is, the actual timing, is just down to the D-pad, because like it's just a quick rhythm of that, which can be which makes it a bit easier. So these are neutral jelly climbs are really just kind of a timing thing. There we go. Again, not widely used. Most important thing is you just gotta make sure when you press down, that's when you release. That's the main intuition to like get away with this. All right, what do we got here? Okay, so jump. Oops. Again, this is probably harder than. Yeah, I don't like that one. There we go. This is probably harder than you'll see in a lot of levels. Jelly smuggle. Alright, smuggles are fun. So don't press. The idea behind the smuggles is you just dash. You have to be close to the dream block. You press dash, and then after you dash, you press grab. You can't grab the object while you're doing it. That's the main intuition. And then you can dash out of them. Oops, that's a terrible wave dash. Much akin to anything else. And if you want distance, hold up. Oops. So you just press dash and then you grab. Very rhythm-based thing. If you want good practice, try doing this section fast. It will prepare you for GM. Because that's seen a couple times in GM. The idea behind it, you're just holding grab the entire time, and then you're doing a quick back press every time as you're leaving a dream block before you go back. So that's the expert gym. Some useful stuff. It really just builds off of your previous fundamentals. I'd say like ultras and corner boosts are the ones that really I would expect to throw people off when they're first learning them. If you do the slide, I think ultras are relatively straightforward, but more often than not, you just need to realize that you probably just need to go faster. Oftentimes, that's the solution. And when I mean faster, I specifically am talking about the dash after the jump. So I'm not saying that. I'm not saying jump immediately after your first dash. If you do that, then you don't get an extension, and therefore you can't continue. What I'm talking about is the moment you press jump. That is you need to press dash right after. That is the main timing thing that people struggle on with Ultras, is they just get the timing wrong on that. The moment you press jump, because you can slide along the ground for a fair amount of time and still get hyper, right? Like, look, I'm sliding there. You can visibly see the slide. But the moment you press jump is when you hyper. Or is when you need to press dash, which is why I do the slide, just because I think it simplifies things, but... Okay. Alright, the Grandmaster Gym, half of it is wildly... Also, for the record, why is it that Expert Gym is gold and Grandmaster is purple when the theme of Expert Lobby is gold and the theme of Grandmaster is gold? Or sorry, theme of Expert Lobby is purple and Grandmaster is gold. Just wrong. Anyway. Alright, so a lot of the stuff in the Grandmaster Gym is wildly unnecessary. You aren't gonna need to know everything. I say a lot of it. Or like, one level will have it. But Chained Ultras, good stuff to know. That's a bit low, actually. So Chained Ultras, again, it's just about repeating the slide. Oops. And if you need to delay, you just delay the slide. Oh, yeah. You hate to see. Again, I will make note that this gem in particular is substantially harder than any Chained Ultra in a level. Like, every Chained Ultras in levels are easier than this section right here. So if you're struggling with this and you get it, congratulations, you are... God damn it. Good to go. That's not game speed. Alright, 1 sec. There we go. So, if you're... they didn't give me a checkpoint? They gave me a checkpoint. Oh well. So the main... Well, here. That one is so hard. So the main... What the hell? Did I not get the checkpoint on that? That's kind of funny. So the main intuition on that one is that you're just timing your... You're holding down right the entire time. You're just timing it better. You can feel free to like slide along the ground a bit. Yeah. I don't think that makes it. This one is very peculiar. I think my start's kind of bad actually. 1 sec. Yeah, that was a much better start. And also, if you feel like you're going too slow, oftentimes it can just be your start. It's kind of bad. Or why am I doing this again? Oh well, it's good practice. I'm dashing too early at the last one. The lines can help you identify when you're messing up, but... Ooh. Surprised that was too low. Ah, whatever. But yeah, so honestly, if you struggle with that, hell, even I struggle with it and I've beaten GM, don't despair. Because it's way harder than anything you actually have to do. There we go. The fast ones honestly tend to be pretty lenient. You just go fast on your button presses. Oops. Okay. The downside with it is you can't really react, so you kind of just have to know. Oh, I can dash there. Okay. So again, you'll notice I'm just doing my slide. Ah, tragic. Repeatedly. And that makes it a lot easier. Just slide. Sliding is great. Grounded Ultras, honestly, not too bad. I didn't really figure them out until I played Stellar Odyssey, I think. But basically you do your regular ultra inputs, and then it's kind of similar to a bunny hop where you're gonna have an additional jump input after. So, and that jump input is going to be after you grab the jellyfish. So the common mistake is people, shoot, wait one sec. I can fail this. There we go. That's the common mistake, is that people can't press jump when they are grabbing the jellyfish. But if you just need to remember, delay your jump until you have started moving again. Because again, you have coyote frames, it's very generous. If you delay your jump until you've started moving again, then it's very free and actually really easy. Oops. And this one, just start spamming. Again, spamming slide works. But yeah, so grounded ultras really aren't that bad. If you can do a regular ultra, you can totally do them. Oops. But that's terrible. But there we go. The main thing is that you are canceling your dash with the jellyfish, and then you need to press jump after, and that follow-up jump is what tends to really... Oh yeah, also this is very common setup. If you see a setup like this, where you're like doing an ultra into the ground with the jellyfish, always you gotta press dash when you're on that ground. That's a very common setup. Crouch dash. So this is the demo dash I was talking about. Oops. If you have a demo button, this is really easy. Otherwise, you need to do shenanigans. Oh wait, what was this? You demo out, was it? Yeah, there you go. Oh, and if you demo into a red bubble, it goes like... You can demo out. You can demo into it. Yeah, so this is a good... Oh yeah, alright, this is the important lesson from this gem. Demos can be used to perform horizontal hypers. So normally if you see a setup like this, you think, oh hey, a super, I need to dash horizontally. No, but with a demo dash, you can perform a hyper at a horizontal. And if you have this, you no longer get the easy tell of, oh, this is a super or this is a hyper. You have to actually figure out, oh hey, like this is what I need to do, you know? Based on distance and whatnot. So, you know, that's what I'd say to that. Again, my advice is a demo button. No reason to make a relatively or a very common tech significantly harder than it already can be to like play these levels. So, alright, this one I would recommend having a second jump button. Until this point, you don't really need a second jump button. There's really no need. But at this point, I would say have a second jump button. Oops. And you just time it, you know. As a good rule of thumb, I would say if you ever need to do a corner kick, always use your second jump button. It tends to help out a lot and allows you to be a bit more consistent with things because it gives you a nice muscle memory. Fuck. There we go. And also, when doing stuff like this, I do like to hold down my jump input. It's not necessary, but I do think it tends to. You'll notice I tend to hold down the original jump and then just press the jump a second time. And this one, just read the billboard. You just do a demo dash the main intuition, your feet are either dangling off or at the very bottom. Then you just do a demo dash and then do a corner kick at the end. Wall bounce leniency. So wall bounce leniency, this is a useful one to just learn. Oops. I say as I'm failing miserably. 1 second. Maybe I need to reread this. Oh, you don't jump. Okay. Oops. There you go. This one is just useful to learn. It's just some useful tips about like, oh hey, wall bounces are actually quite nice. You can delay them. So like this one is saying, oh hey, you can dash in this with spike, but also you can kind of do it after the end of your dash, you know. This one is you can, if you dash up, you can press into a wall and it'll allow you to wall bounce still if you press jump. This one, I think this is just a slide. Honestly, I was never the best of these. There you go. Yeah, so if you're curious what just happened. So again, the slide is life. But basically you perform a wall bounce and then you cancel it with a dash. This is completely unnecessary, by the way. You don't need to know this. You don't need to know this. I'm not even going to bother with this one because it's kind of a pain. You don't need to know wall bounce lenient, or like the last couple of stuff with wall bounce leniency to do anything in Strawberry Jam. Double dream jump. So double dream jumps have a second jump input. So my way to do this is my technique is I press jump while I am near the end, and then I press my second jump button at around the time that I would normally do a dream hyper. So I don't and that is the way you do it, but you know, it's just like it's this timing basically. It's that timing. Oops. And you can just time it off of your first jump press. Oh yeah, I think I need to hold right here. Oops. And the double wall bounces. I'm pressing the first jump too early, I think. There you go. So if you fail the double wall bounce, like oftentimes here I'm failing because I'm pressing the first jump too early. Need to make sure that like your first jump is like right at the edge. Ah, damn it. It's a relatively specific timing, to be honest, and this trick is necessary for a couple things. Here you can just hold left and then do it. You don't need to do anything fancy. Like you can hold the opposite direction. Oops. Oh, I'm not forgetting to press jump the second time. You'll notice I'm gonna die a lot more in the GM gym. Because the GM gym is honestly pretty hard. Like, it's almost like a green GM level in and of itself. Keep forgetting to do the second jump. 1 sec. And this is also required. I don't think there's a level. Summit is the one that likes these. I don't think it requires you to do them back to back, which is the hard part. There we go. If you have like one down on those, you're fine. Cortec. Cortec, my favorite. So these, again, do the slide. It's basically a dream hyper input with really jank timings. So this is a super. But basically, oops. The intuition here, if you find yourself jumping, you did it too early. If you find yourself dashing, you did it too late. Is this real? Yes. Yeah. These... It's really about timing. You just need to figure out, like, right as the core block is disappearing. Honestly, this is mostly just a lot of, like, me playing Solar Express, getting this timing down. This gym was... I struggled with this gym a bit. Oops. When I first played, but it's really just a timing thing, and then you do a nice, very simple Dream Hyper slide. You know, it's the exact same Dream Hyper, Dream Super inputs that you already do. Oh, wall boosts. I don't like wall boosts. Alright, so wall boosts, you just hold, grab, jump, and then press the opposite direction. So admit I'm not very good at them. So the main idea with wall boosts is you have to neutral your D-pad when you do the climb jump, and then you do the climb jump, and then you immediately press a direction. It's very similar to like a really fast neutral, except it's way harder. There you go. Okay, you can also use them to cancel your momentum. That one's actually rather intuitive. Oops. So you'll see... There you go. So the main thing here is if you see that, that means you pressed your like left input too early. So you need to... That says, oh hey, I did actually like climb up, you know? There you go. Why am I touching the ground wall first? Neutrals are disabled. So, climb jumps preserve your stamina. So if I, Oh wait, yeah. Oh no, they aren't disabled. I guess I could just neutral up actually, but it's a good example anyway. So climb jumps, I think they preserve, and basically they allow you to do a climb jump without using any stamina. And I think they might give you a little extra stamina. That's up to the reading if you want to figure that out. I don't quite remember all the details. I'm just here to do the inputs. Oops. Main idea is you neutral. See, I canceled one. Start from the ground and extends max stamina. Yeah, there you go. Figured that was the case. Alright, one sec. There you go. You just gotta neutral the D-pad a bit. And these are... Oops. Overclocking, yeah, that's the term they use. These are largely unused. Again, if it seems like a more eclectic, strange tech, it's because it's map called Summit uses it, and that is why this is in the gym for Strawberry Jam. So as long as you have this down, like if you can do this, actually, not that one. This one is largely unused. This one, if you can do this, then you're probably gonna be fine, to be honest, for the level. You can also get a wall boost from a corner boost if you go neutral before the climb jump. Interesting. But yeah, so I wouldn't stress... One thing to note, especially about the GM gym in particular, is honestly, you should do this side. Do this side, all of these, you should do those before you play any levels. It's just good knowledge to know, and they aren't that bad. This side is all of the tech that is more level specific. Back boosts are probably something are a bit more common, but a lot of these other stuff like are very level specific and you don't need to know. Like Wall Boost was for Summit, Core Tech was for Solar Express, Moon Boost was for Pinball Purgatory, Feather Tech was for 74, Spike Jump, Super Wave or for Summit again, and then Reform Tech was for Shatter Song, and maybe a couple others. Reform Tech's a bit common, but you know, over here it's a bit less important. So if you just want to like get into the GM levels, do the left side here, and then you can go play. And as long as you're aware that these exist, you can then go practice these at your leisure. Back boosts. So back boosts are painful at times. So the main idea behind it is you just do a quick like left right. One sec. And that is when you let go of grab. It is back boosts are notoriously substantially easier on keyboard than controller. There's a reason for that. If you notice that you're dropping it, that's because you're using controller. So what I do, and you'll notice it instantly works when I do it. So what I do is I actually, on this controller in particular, I go upright, because I have found that if I just go across like this, I very often sneak in a down input. However, if I go up, like go to the diagonal there, I very consistently, because holding up doesn't change how you throw, so very consistently, oops, wait, he might dash. Oh, I see. Okay. Sorry, I didn't replay this gym before doing it, so you know. Yeah, so if you're playing on controller and you're really struggling to get the timing down, my advice is you do the upright technique. I have found it has made me so much more consistent at back boost. It is insane. Oops. And stuff like that is why I'm making this video, because there are a number of these tricks that I was really struggling with. That was terrible. To learn on controller, and stuff like that I didn't necessarily like. The gym doesn't tell you stuff like that, just like specific tricks like that. What do they want you to do here? Oops. I think it's just another. Oh, they dash forward there, maybe? Yeah, okay, they dash forward. Oh, okay. That's not so bad. So close. So this one is actually a good. So this, there you go, is a great tutorial for Ivory. Ivory loves this back boost. If you can do that gym, you are set up nicely. Alright, here again, we are at another screen where you should really have your demo button programmed. So Moon Boost, if you do a dash off of a moon block, it can do shenanigans. But program a demo button, it makes life easy. Main idea, you just, if the block is moving, one sec. God damn it. You need to, it could be a tad particular to get the angle down. Unless, of course, you die, in which case it's just set up for you. Oh, that's a super. Okay. And now is a corner boost. Not exactly what we're going for. But yeah, so this gym gets substantially easier. Humanity. Okay. If you have a demo button programmed, in which case you're just doing the demo hypers you've already learned, and then the only like thing you're learning is just, oh yeah, this even exists. Okay. Not actually exactly sure what they want there. Again, this tech doesn't show up until Pinball Purgatory, which is one of the hardest. Oh, I keep forgetting that's a super. Which is one of the hardest Grandmaster levels. So honestly, anyone that's probably interacting with this tutorial, like to learn stuff. Oh, I think they want. Do they want a repeat Moon Boost there? Maybe. That one's actually a bit hard to read. Moon Boosts are so obvious in the levels that I don't even necessarily think about this. I could just be a Moon Boost Wave Dash, no? Wait one sec. Alright. One sec. I'm trying to parse exactly what they're asking for here. I think they want, okay, a double Moon Boost like that. Okay. Not a problem. Alright. But yeah, so this is just good practice for, oops. Reverse. Using demos. One sec. Like I said, I haven't played some of these gems in a while, so. I've forgotten what they want. There we go. Yes, this is double Moon Boost. Moon Boost, not too bad. Feather Tech. So I used to. Oops. One sec. Again, read all the text, some of these simpler ones. I used to use joystick until I played 74 and realized, wow, doing this tech in particular was a nightmare on joystick. The wall bounces. They don't work very well. Oh, random thing. When you are in a feather, if you neutral, you go slower than if you are holding a direction. I somehow did not know this for the longest time, and it made a difference at some point. just gonna say. Oops. There we go. But yeah, so Feather Tech, personally, I use D-pad now, but for the most part, you can just use joystick most of the time. It's really, but if you want to do these more precise things, personally, I would recommend learning D-pad feathers. I think it just makes them a lot more consistent, which if you're playing GM and actually need this stuff, it will help. Spike jumps. So the spike jumps are just the cool tech. They aren't hard. You're just doing the exact same wall bounce and whatnot inputs you, oops, one sec, already know how to do, but they look cool. Oops. So, you know. One sec. Oh, do I, you mind, oh yeah, that's right, you hold left. That's right. Reform Tech. Okay, Reform Tech is useful. I don't know if I have any fancy techniques for this. I mean, if you stand in it, the timing becomes relatively easy. Like, for this first one, if you can stand in the block, it won't reform when you're standing in it, so the moment you leave... the moment you leave is when it will form, which means you can... This is all about timing, really. Personally, I do use my second jump button for timing this. There we go. Not because I need to, but because it's easier. Oh yeah, that's right. This tech is more... Like, this tech totally could not be GM, because it's not really mechanically hard to do. But GM is for all the... Oops. Hope you have timing. Just jump on the beat. All the weird stuff. And then we get to the Super Wave, which is... that. So Super Wave is it kind of takes practice. Oh, that's right. Again, this is a Summit special. It's in one screen of Summit. It's not even in the heart side, I don't think. Oops. Hey, if you want to time things, have a bubble, remember. Fast bubble. This one's kind of awkward. I think this is like exactly the Summit screen, to be honest. One sec. This gem, honestly, if you get here, you're probably good to go, but Cloud Super Waves are toxic. They're a pain. It's just a timing thing. You just have to delay your there you go. The main idea is you just have to delay your Super Wave a bit. And again, the Super Wave is just a revert or a super into a reverse wave dash. That's all it is. No, too high. Great. So, you know. Oh, I need to get, yeah, there's no jump on this one, which is what makes it different than, there you go. Oops. Diagonal. So this one's actually easier than some of the others, because you don't have to include jump. So Super Waves are, they take a bit of work. Honestly, I probably wouldn't spend a ton of time stressing about Super Waves, because they're kind of mostly one of the harder tricks in here, if I'm being honest. To learn. They're just kind of finicky. But yeah, so that is the Strawberry Jam gems. Sliding the D-pad is OP. That is, if you take one thing away from this, it's that the D-pad slide is great. And I love my D-pad slide. It makes the timing of things so much easier. And if you're doing back boosts, go diagonal up instead of the other way around. But yeah, I think that is all the rooms in the gyms. If anyone has like a question or whatever, or like a particular trick they want more explained in chat, I'm happy to answer, but but oftentimes the the thing to take away if you're ever like really struggling with the gyms is to note that the gyms are the hardest versions of or oftentimes the hardest version of a trip. Not always, but most of the time the levels will actually give you nice setups for all of these things. And except double dream jumps, they don't really give you nice setups for those. But even then they're easier, because you're just doing like one of them. So, or Moon Boost. Moon Boost, Pinball Purgatory just doesn't want to give you the lineup sometimes. That's more of a bumper issue. Yeah, there we go. Hope this helps in some regard.